Let's go on to the next tung-fu tip. Is that, are people confused or unclear? That's probably because we're trying to explain our idea. We're trying to explain our cause or our project. And explanations create confusion. From now on, we're going to give examples instead of explanations, and here's an example of what I mean. Several years ago, the Washington Post had an article about an oil tanker that had caught fire 800 miles off the coast of Hawaii. A cruise ship happened to be going by and was able to rescue the 11 people on board. The captain gave a press conference, and he talked about how grateful he was to be rescued. All he can think about is his dog that got left behind, abandoned on the tanker. That press conference went viral, and donations started pouring in from around the world. $5, $500, $5,000. The U.S. Navy changed the exercise area of the Pacific Fleet to search 50,000 square miles of open ocean. The Coast Guard mounts a $250,000 rescue mission to get that dog, and they are able to successfully bring Hotget back to Hawaii. Now, what's the point? Here's the point. Why did people from around the world mobilize to save one dog when there are thousands of people in our own cities and states and countries going without food, water, and shelter? It's because of something called the empathy telescope. And the empathy telescope says we can put ourselves in the shoes of one person. We cannot put ourselves in the shoes of thousands. We can put ourselves in the shoes of an individual. We cannot put ourselves in the shoes of an idea. Do you want people to care about your cause, your issue, your country, your project? Do not explain it. You will get knit and furrowed eyebrows. Instead, give a dog on a tanker example of one person who had a problem until your program turned it around. One customer who had a need and then dealt with your company and is now better off. Because if you tell the story of one person who had a problem, a challenge, adversity, or a need, and now they're better off because of your idea or your cause or your product, now they can relate to it. Now they can see it. Now they can empathize with it instead of being overwhelmed by talking about the thousands or millions of people being impacted by this. Idea number 3 is, what if people are not interested? If people are not interested, maybe we're trying to sell our idea. From now on, we're not going to try and sell our idea. Do you know anyone who likes to be sold to? Instead, we're going to show instead of sell. Now, let's talk about the example. Is that I am a judge for something called the dolphin tank. Okay, I'm looking at a business plan, and this woman is trying to get funding for a hook you hang your purse on to put in your car. I'm thinking, really? You're trying to get funding for a hook you put in a car to hang your purse on? She was so smart, though. She brought a full-size car seat into the convention center, and she pulled it up on stage, and she put her purse on the seat. She put her hands on an imaginary driving wheel, and she started driving. She said, have you ever been driving along? You had to stop all of a sudden, and your purse fell off the seat, and your cell phone fell underneath, and you're trying to drive with one hand, and you're trying to rummage around and get your cell phone in the other hand. She said, imagine never having to worry about that again. A man in the audience stood up, and he said, I'll take 2, one for my wife and one for my daughter. And I thought, she went from really to I'll take 2 in 30 seconds. Why? It's because she used a prop. If you have something technical that you're trying to explain, people won't get it, and then they won't be interested. Is there some kind of prop that you can use? Hold up your cell phone, bring out your laptop, and show people, put them in a problem they've experienced where they're thinking, oh yeah, I've been there, I've had that happen, I don't want to happen again. Now they voluntarily want what it is you're offering. You're not selling them, you're just putting them in the scene where they've experienced a problem that you solve. And you're asking, have you ever questions? Have you ever been in this situation? Have you ever had that happen? And once again, people are voluntarily saying, yes, I relate to that. I've experienced it. I don't want it to happen again. Now I want what it is that you're offering. All right, let's go on to the next idea. There's this great quote from Richard Branson. Richard Branson said, time is the new money. I think time is the new trust. Harvard business researcher Nancy F. Cohen found that goldfish have longer attention spans than we do. Goldfish, 9 seconds goldfish, 8 seconds human beings. Google found that if a website takes longer than 4 seconds to load up, we've already abandoned it. We're living in an age of impatience and infobesity. We do not want more information. We can find all the information we want anytime we want online. So see, when we speak to people, it's not about giving them information, it's about giving them intrigue, so they want to know more. Now here's an example, and I'll show you how we can do that. One of my clients was pitching his app to the CTO of the London Olympics. And I said, Mike, how much time do you have? And he said, I have an hour. I said, Mike, you don't have an hour. I said, put yourself in the shoes of your decision makers. Why will he say no? Why will he resist this? Why will he not be interested? What will he be thinking? And Mike thought about it, and he kind of smiled, and he said, you know what he's probably thinking? I'm 212 days out from the London Olympics. I don't have time for this. I said, Mike, guess what your first words are? You may be thinking we're 212 days out from the London Olympics, and you don't have time for this. And I have distilled my pitch into 10 minutes. At the end of 10 minutes, if you have more time, if you have questions, I welcome them. If you have higher priorities, you'll have the information. You're welcome to get back in touch. Would you like to know one of the quickest ways to win buy-in, especially from someone who is busy, someone who's got a lot on their plate? Say what it is they're thinking. They may be thinking, we've tried this before and it didn't work. What are the first words out of your mouth? You may be thinking, we tried this before and it didn't work. What are they thinking? We don't have money for this. What are your first words? You may be thinking, we don't have money for this. And if I can have 3 minutes, I think I can point out where we went wrong before, how we're going to prevent that from happening again, and how it's going to actually be. Or you may be thinking, we don't have money. And if I can have 3 minutes of your time, I'll point out where we're going to find that money, how we're going to save that amount of money in the first 3 months, and then how we're going to turn it into a profit thereafter. If they're distracted, if they're impatient, we probably have not brought up time. Anxiety is defined in 2 words: not knowing. If we start talking and we don't mention time, people aren't really listening. They're thinking, how long will this take? And if they're busy, chances are they're resenting us for taking up their valuable time. So mention time, ask for less time, and see if it doesn't help get their attention instead of them checking email.